Hi, friends. Um, I don't feel particularly like doing this, but I'm here to share with you. You normally see the view a little earlier in the afternoon when the sun comes shining through, but it's not at a low enough angle to catch the stationary silver that's on the window, or crystal that's on the windowsill. So that's what you're seeing here now. Uh, it's later in the day. It's almost 6 p.m. So I thought I would have some fun, and with this display on the wall, I would share with you one of these many, many written journals that sit awaiting recording. So this one is from June 2nd, the third one of that day, and the Mayan day was 11 night, and it's called Bird Serendipity. Okay, so now it's 9 journals, maybe. This one may turn out to be just a note, which is funny since none of them ever has. Anyway, what brings me here is just to jot down an illumination that just came to me, just put itself together for me. There's something going on with me and birds. Don't know what, don't know why, but in the last 30 days or so, I've actually held in my hands 2 birds, or is it 3? One was a hummingbird who stunned himself running into the glass window on the screen door as I was letting the cats in. He came in. It was a female. The cat was reaching out a paw for the little guy there on the floor, so I quickly scooped him up and held him protectively. There wasn't going to be any of that. Thank you, kitties, very much. Not here, not now, anyway. So, I wound up being privileged to hold that little one for maybe 5 or 10 minutes or more. Not good with time. I do remember finally taking him out to have a seat on the porch. And that way, just in case he came back to himself and was able to fly, he wouldn't be trapped inside. That's not so good, especially with ceiling fans running and such, not to mention the 2 cats. So, after sitting on the deck chair, just holding and loving the little one, it finally came to himself enough to be able to fly away. Well, you know, or you can imagine just how special that felt. So often, my experience with the birds, well, they haven't always come out so nicely. Between the big picture window being either invisible or reflecting the sky to them, and to the cats, well, you get the picture. Wait, just thought of another one. Want to try to get these in order. Now this one was initially a very bad scene. This is actually the first one. The kitties love to bring home their little catches, which is usually lizards and such. Well, this time it was a bird, and things weren't looking too good, since when they first brought it in, I was asleep. So it took a good bit of noise and chasing around to wake me up to the unusual sounds, and by then there was blood and feathers aplenty spread about. Anyway, I went and grabbed the bird up, thinking that even if I just held it so that it could die in peace, that would be far better than being playfare for the kitties. There were bright red dots of blood on the linoleum and some on its chest, so I kind of figured the worst. After holding it a while and soothing it with love and tenderness, I walked outside with it. I was wondering, what could I do that would be best for it? Cats are agile and frisky, so there really was nowhere I could place it that would be safe. But I couldn't stand there with it forever. Finally, I set it down gently in a hanging wire basket, you know, the kind you line with moss, with lots of room next to the plants. It was kind of laid over on its side, kind of halfway on one foot, half not, but still not completely out. There was some life in it. Well, I went to weeding around the yard so I could stay close to keep it safe. Can't tell you how surprised, how glad I was when I saw it get to its feet. It stood up on its own. I was amazed, really. It kept kind of crouched down, but at least it was upright. I kept weeding. And pretty soon, it hopped over to the wire edge of the planter, and it hopped up on that. Just an inch or so, but still progress. As you can guess, or telepathically, you have the ability to check it out. And not just with telepathy. When you're in heart, you're in superposition. That means you are everywhere, every when, and you can tune in directly. Just start practicing. Just adopt it as a new belief if you like. Just for fun. Hey, why not? Anyway, my heart soared right along with it when it up and flew off. Now, it may be that the little guy died later in its nest. That I don't yet know, but I do know that I was privileged to prevent it from a rather horrible demise at the claws and teeth of my dear sweet cats. It's just a cat thing, you know. It was hard, but I don't hold it against them anymore either. It's just nature, and it's all okay. Okay, that's 2. I'm on a roll. Next comes the tale I may have shared before about going out to put a few scoops of sunflower nuts in my varmint-rated feeders, those greedy guys. Anyway, I don't know if it's coons or possums or squirrels. As I went out the front door, so did my kitties, and there went Cuddles making a beeline for a little sparrow-type bird fluttering around on the ground. It could only hop and flutter its wings, making no very fast progress. Cuddles was zoning in on the little guy, and I was trying to catch it too. Couldn't have been very enjoyable moments for the bird. After some effort, I finally won out and grabbed it up. It didn't appear to be hurt, from what I could see by checking its wings and such. So, once again, the bird holding began. Yeah, that is 3. Why didn't this all add up with me before? How unusual is this to have all this happen in such a short space of time? And I'm not even done yet. So, there I was, holding and talking to this one, calming it down as I could. It didn't seem like a new fledgling, unless they have all their feathers perfectly in and are pretty fair-sized when they first fly. So I don't know what this bird's problem was, why it couldn't take wing. Anyway, after about 5 or 10 minutes of bird holding duty, this one also flew off, landing very nearby in the branch of a huge pine tree. Oh, it's such a beautiful thing when a feathered friend gets to fly free. There are no words to encapsulate that. So, all, all of the birds I held, but all of those birds I held. But there are two more to mention here. One is a huge bird compared to all of these. It was a roadrunner who I spotted outside taking care of a snake. One less snake, if you know what I mean. It was very thorough and efficient, hopping all over the place, stopping now and again to whack the dickens out of that snake on the ground. Poor snake. That one I think I may have also mentioned, but I kept the kitties and the doggie in for it. We all watched through the double glass doors, the dog too, for, I don't know, 10 minutes or more, as the bird and the snake did their dance. They were still doing it when I finally moved on with my day. Now that bird knew I was watching. It knew we were watching. I stayed long enough to get the dog not to make a big ruckus over it. I didn't want him scaring it away. The dog may be only 8 inches or so high, but he wants to be, and in his heart he is the best little guard dog ever. And I'm sure he would have chased it, as would the cats, given half a chance. The last one of note is a lovely little bird that flew up at pretty high speed, alighting on the bird bath dish in a very graceful wings outspread mode, just as I was beginning my first ever live transmission from the 12D Soul family. It felt most special, not the least bit accidental. So, my friends, just before I opened this journal up, it had hit me how unusual it all is to have such close, special interactions with the birds recently. I sit here pondering, wondering at what may be the deeper meaning. Right now, I truly don't know. So, do let me know if you're moved to understand something about it. Now, I'm not saying it's any big deal. Don't get me wrong. I'm just in love with nature and with Mother Earth and her beings, and they touch me deeply. I'm feeling so special, so lovingly touched by being used this way to rescue and observe some of her birds at close hand. It's a big wow to me to be able to hold even one single bird. And look at this. Okay. As energy had ran out before I ever came to this journal, I'll keep it short this way. Don't know what else to add to it at this point anyway. Of course, I'm a long-time bird feeder. I've got a nice post with 6 feeders just beyond squirrel jumping distance from the house. So that makes it not at all unusual to have lots of birds around. As I said, I'm not trying to make the self out as being special here. Just inquiring into what nature might have to say that maybe I'm missing. Heck, I'm just glad for the angel or fairy or 12D or whatever who helped me get the flash of awakening to the unbelievable string of coincidences. To put that together and to see that it's just a wee bit odd. Thanks to all of you for reading and watching. You too are held warmly in this heart. Namaste.